boys game, where the Smith Center Redmen take on the Stockton Tigers. Looking at the starting lineups, first for the Redmen, going to be number 3, a 5'10 senior, Colby Benoit, along with number 4, a 6'3 senior, Kyle Sass, number 11, a 6'1 junior, Trenton Colby. Also starting for the Redmen, number 15, a 6'1 senior, Reese Buckmaster, and number 23, a 6'1 senior, Austin Hobelman. For the Tigers, it's going to be number 10, a 6'1 sophomore, Ethan Means, number 11, a 6'1 sophomore, Cameron Hamel. Also starting for the Tigers will be number 14, a 5'11 sophomore, Troy Rogers. Looks like also starting will be number 21, a 6' junior, Ben Rogers, and number 24, a 6'3 senior, Brady Bucher. For the Redmen, they are 2-7 on the season. They average 52 points a game. They're head coached by Rob Buckmaster. For the Tigers, 4-6 on the year. Head coached by Kyle Fox, averaging 53.9 points a game. The Redmen in those road red jerseys, white numbers and the green trim. The Tigers in their home white jerseys, blue numbers and the black trim. As we are getting set here, again, this is the 9th place boys game. As both these teams lost in the feather bracket games, the play-in games on Saturday, and will now play today, and then their tournament will be completed after this ball game. Again, the Redmen lost to TMP 65-59, while the Tigers lost to Norton 44-34 to get to this point. Again, for the Redmen, it's Benoit, Sass, Colby, Buckmaster, and Hobelman. For the Tigers, Means, Hamel, Rogers, and Bucher. As Bucher and Sass step into the center circle, the Redmen will go right to left on your radio dial to start this ball game, which means the Tigers go left to right on your radio dial. Bucher wins the tip in the hands of Hamel. Cameron Hamel, the 6'1 sophomore, he's averaging 9.6 points a game, just outside of double digits. So Tigers swing it inside for Bucher, and he's going to get called for the travel as he was trying to get the shot off the glass. So early turnover by the Tigers, and it will be Redmen basketball. 7:49 left to go in the first quarter. 0-0 is our score. The Redmen with their first possession. Benoit brings it across the timeline ahead to Trenton Colby, right wing, down to the right corner to Hobelman. Hobelman swings it back out front to Benoit. Benoit fakes left, goes back right, out front now to Buckmaster, to the left wing to Colby. Colby, they leave him open for 3, and he makes him pay. Trenton Colby from the left wing buries the 3. Makes it 3-0. The Smith Center Redmen take an early lead over the Stockton Tigers here in Stockton in the grade school as Troy Rogers has it. He's going to drive all the way in, count the basket. He's on line for an and one. Nope, they are going to say no shot now. They say the foul is on the floor. There was no signal, so thought that maybe it was an active shooting foul, but they are going to say the foul is on the floor. So fouls on Trenton Colby, his first personal foul, first Redmen team foul. Troy Rogers looks to inbound, does so to Ben Rogers. Ben passes it out front now to Ethan Means. His shot is up, and he buries the 3, top of the key. So back-to-back three-pointers here, one by the Redmen, one by the Stockton Tigers, and we're tied back up at 3. 7:04 left to go in the first quarter. Trenton Colby left corner, 3's on its way, this time no good. Ball is tracked down by Brady Bucher. Bucher pushes up the right sideline, left to right across the timeline. Down to the right wing. Picks up his dribble now to Hamel. They swing around to Ben Rogers' left wing. Rogers looks inside, letting the offense work with 6:45 left to go in the first quarter. Means has it. He's going to dribble all the way back out into the center circle, between the circles now. Kicks it over to Troy Rogers, back to Hamel, top of the key, 3's on its way, misses that one to the right, put back by Hamel's, up no good. Rebound, fought for, out of bounds it goes. They are going to say that Ben Rogers touched it last, and it will be Smith Center basketball. 6:32 left to go in the first quarter. 3-3 is our score here between the Smith Center Redmen and the Stockton Tigers in Stockton Grade School. The 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Benoit has it around to Buckmaster, back out to Benoit, and it's stolen away by Ben Rogers. Rogers on the fast break, layup, good. So Ben Rogers gets his first points of the ball game. He's averaging just under 5 points a game. As it is Redmen basketball, they trail by 2, 5-3 with 6:10 left to go in the first quarter. Benoit has it. Trenton Colby right corner, 3's on its way. He's good again. Trenton Colby's got 2 3-pointers, and the Redmen go up by 1, 6-5 with 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Ben Rogers has it left side. They get inside for Bucher. Bucher one dribble, backside pass for Hamel, up and good. So Cameron Hamel gets his first points of the ball game and puts the Stockton Tigers back up by 1. 5:45 left to go in the first quarter. 7-6 is our score. The Stockton Tigers lead the Smith Center Redmen here in the 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Benoit has it. right side, out front to Trenton Colby. Now to Reese Buckmaster. They look inside for Hobelman. That pass gets cut off quickly. So ball goes back around to the right side to Colby Benoit. Inside for Sass. Jumpers up in the paint. Rattles out. No good. Rebounded by Troy Rogers. He hands it off to to Bucher. Bucher brings it up the court. Left to right on your radio dial. Go the Stockton Tigers. Hamel has it. Out front to Ben Rogers. Now to Hamel left wing. He looks inside for Means. Ball gets tipped out by Trenton Colby, and Buckmaster can't quite track it down before it goes out of bounds. So it will remain Stockton basketball. 5:09 left to go in the first quarter. 7-6 is our score. The Stockton Tigers lead the Smith Center Redmond here in the 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. We are in the Stockton Grade School gym here on this Thursday afternoon as they inbound to Means. Means drives in. Right baseline shot is up. No good. Rebounded by Kyle Sass. Sass quickly out to Benoit. He's up the right sideline. Right to left on your radio dial. Across the timeline ahead to Buckmaster, right corner. Back out front to Benoit. Now to Trenton Colby. He pump fakes, drives in, kicks out to Hobelman. Left corner, long two, rattles out, no good. Put back by Sass is no good. Put back tip by Trenton Colby is. Colby's got all 8 points for the Smith Center Redmond, and the Redmond lead it by 1, 8-7, with 4:38 left to go in the first quarter. Redmond just picked up their second team foul, and this one's going to be on Colby Benoit, his first personal. 4:37 left to go in the first quarter. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers by 1, 8-7. All 8 points coming from Trenton Colby here in the first quarter. Brady Bucher works against Trenton Colby. He drives in. Going to have a charge called on Bucher. His first personal foul, second to Tiger team foul. Their first Tiger team foul. And that's yet another charge drawn on the year for Austin Hobelman. On Saturday against TMP, he had 2. So there's a third one here on this MCL tournament for Austin Hobelman, and charges drawn. Redmond basketball, 4:20 left to go in the first quarter. They get the ball inside to Hobelman, do the Redmond. He works against Hamel. Shot no good. Rebound, fought for, and it's tipped in the hands of Brady Bucher. Bucher brings it back up the court now for the Tigers. Ahead to Ben Rogers in the left corner. Rogers back out front to Hamel. Hamel inside for Bucher at the free throw line. Ball gets tipped and he gets called for the travel. So it will be Smith Center basketball. 3:59 left to go in the first quarter. 8-7 is our score. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers. 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Benoit brings it ahead to Buckmaster, left wing, back out front between the circles to Benoit, around to Trenton Colby, right wing. They look inside and a kick ball as Troy Rogers gets called for that kick ball. So it will be Smith Center basketball. 3:47 left to go in the first quarter. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers here in the 9th place boys game, 8-7. Colby has it right wing. They look inside for Sass. Skip pass for Buckmaster out front. Colby Benoit, three-pointers on its way, and it's good. 3 3-pointers by the Smith Center Redmond, and they extend their lead. They now lead 11-7 with 3.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Means loses the handle on it. It goes out of bounds. They are going to say Kyle Sass touched it last, and it will be Stockton basketball. 3:27 left to go in the first quarter. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers 11-7. As it looks like Gage Cognac comes in the game. He's a 6'1 junior, averaging just 1 point a game on the season. Taking a seat was Ben Rogers. Ethan Means has it out front for the Stockton Tigers, working against Austin Hobelman. Picks up his dribble to the left wing. They look inside for Bucher. He tracks it down to the left baseline. Kicks it out front to Hamel. Hamel working against Griffin Kugler as Kugler came into the ball game for the Redmond as Buckmaster took a seat. Means behind the back dribble at the left wing, working against Kugler. They hand it off to Bucher. Bucher works against Austin Hobelman. Bucher drives in, and Hobelman going to get called for the reach. His first personal foul, third Redmond team foul. 3:02 left to go in the first quarter. 11-7 is our score. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers here in the 9th place boys game in the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. We are in Stockton at the grade school for this matchup as the Tigers get the ball inside of Troy Rogers, up and good. Rogers gets his first points of the ball game, and it cuts into that Redmond lead by 2. It's now a 9-11 with 2:45 left to go in the first quarter. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers. Colby Benoit looks at the three, doesn't take it. They swing it around Trenton Colby left wing. Colby drives in, left block elevates, no good. Rebounded by Cognac. Cognac trapped on the baseline, gets his pass to Bucher. Bucher brings it up the left sideline, skip pass to Troy Rogers left wing. Rogers out front to Hamel, back to Rogers left corner. He'll put up the three from there, buries it. Troy Rogers has 5, and the Smith Center Redmond now trail by 1. 12-11. A timeout called with 2:23 left to go in the first quarter. The Stockton Tigers lead the Smith Center Redmen 12-11. We'll take a timeout with them as you're listening to MCL basketball tournament coverage on KQMA and the World Wide Web. .220 left to go in the first quarter of this ninth-place boys game. And the Stockton Tigers took a one-point lead into that timeout, 12-11 over the Smith Center Redmen. Colby Benoit has it out front to Trenton Colby. He'll put up a three. He hits another one. Trenton Colby on fire here in the first quarter. He's got 11, and he's hit 3 3-pointers, and the Smith Center Redmen regain a 2-point lead, 14-12. 2 minutes exactly left to go here in the first quarter. Booker's going to put up a spike line three. Misses that one to the left. Fighting for the rebound. Going to have a foul called. This one's going to be on the Tigers, their second team foul. And it's going to be on Cameron Hamel, his first. Minute 55 left to go in the first quarter. The Smith Center Redmen have a 2-point lead of 14-12 over the Stockton Tigers. Colby Benoit brings it up, working against the 2-3 zone by the Tigers. The Kugler right wing out front to Benoit. Benoit back around to Kugler right wing. Kugler one dribble. They look inside, stolen away by Booker. Booker brings it quickly up the right sideline, left to right on your radio dial, down to the right wing. Continues his move towards the basket, kicks out the Means right corner, working against Hobelman there. Inside for Booker, tipped out by Benoit. Benoit saves it in. Nope, they are going to say that he stepped out of bounds down there on the far baseline. Back into the game for the Redmen, Reese Buckmaster and Kyle Sass, as Trenton Colby takes a seat and Austin Hobelman takes a seat. Minute 28 left to go in the first quarter. The Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers by 2, 14-12. Troy Rogers to inbound the basketball. Goes to the right wing to Hamel, or to Means, excuse me. Means puts up the three, no good. Rebounded by Sass, ahead to Buckmaster. Buckmaster bounce pass for Kugler, tipped by Troy Rogers, as Rogers and Kugler both head into the stands. See, they are going to say it was last touch by the Stockton Tigers, and it will be Smith Center basketball, as Buckmaster going to inbound. Buckmaster looking. Gets it in, right corner three by Benoit is too hard, no good. Rebound, 5-4 out of bounds, and I'm going to say Heston Maxwell touched it last, so it will be Stockton basketball. The minute 16 left to go in the first quarter. The Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers 14-12. Ben Rogers comes back in. Cameron Hamel takes a seat. Booker going to bring it left to right on your radio dial. Brings it across the timeline with a minute 10 left to go in the first quarter. Down to the right wing. Out front now to Troy Rogers. He's between the circles. Makes his move now to Booker in the right corner. Booker drives baseline, working against Griffin Kugler. Kugler tips it out, and it will remain Stockton basketball with a minute 3 left to go in the first quarter. Joel Montgomery comes in. Colby Benoit going to take his seat. 14-12 is our score. The Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers with a minute 3 left to go in the first quarter. Troy Rogers going to inbound underneath his own basket, looking, gets it into Ben Rogers' right corner. Rogers around to Means right wing. He works against Kyle Sass between the circles, drives into the paint. Shot is up high off the glass and good. Ethan Means hits the basket. He's now got 5, and it puts the game back at a tie ball game. 14-14, 45 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Kugler has it left wing for Smith Center. Out front to Buckmaster. They swing around to Montgomery right wing. Montgomery back out to Kugler. Kugler's going to drive in. He's going to get called for a travel as he made his move toward the basket. So with 34 seconds left to go in the first quarter, here in the 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament, we are tied at 14 between the Smith Center Redmen and the Stockton Tigers as Booker brings it up the right sideline. Going to drive all the way down to the right block. Pump fakes there. Gets a Kugler up in the air. And going to be the 4th team foul on the Redmen. And it'll be Stockton basketball out of bounds. And it's going to be on Griffin Kugler, his first. 28 seconds left to go in the first quarter. 14-14 is our score here between the Smith Center Redmen and the Stockton Tigers as they inbound towards Booker. Bounces off of Maxwell into the hands of Kugler. Kugler's layup is no good, but that's because he's fouled. This will be the 3rd team foul on the Stockton Tigers and the 1st on Ben Rogers. 23 seconds left to play in the first quarter. 14-14 is the score here between the Smith Center Redmen and the Stockton Tigers in this 9th place boys game. As Kugler heads to the free throw line. First one misses, no good, off the front of the iron. So Kugler still looking for his first point of the ball game. As Cameron Hamel comes back into the game, Troy Rogers going to take a seat. Kugler getting set for his second one now. It's on its way and have an early whistle. Looks like lane violation on the Redmen, so it will be Tiger basketball. 20 seconds left to go in the first quarter. We're tied at 14 here in the 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continental League basketball tournament between Smith Center and Stockton, and tied at 14. Booker has between the circles. He'll work against Griffin Kugler. 10 seconds left. They look inside. Buckmaster tips it out. Reese tried to save it in, but could not quite track it down in time, so it remains Stockton basketball. 7 seconds left to go in the first quarter. 14-14 is our score here between the Smith Center Redmen and the Stockton Tigers. Ben Rogers inbounds at 2. Booker. Booker, 5 seconds. Spike line 3. Parries it. Booker gets his first points, and it puts the Stockton Tigers up by 3, 17-14 at the end of the first quarter. We'll take a timeout here. We'll be back with second quarter action right after this as you're listening to MCL basketball tournament coverage on KQMA and the World Wide Web. And welcome back to Stockton Grade School Gym. Jesse Ray with you as we are getting set for the second quarter. Just got an update from Trigo. The Smith Center girls fall to Trigo 44-39. So the Lady Eagles move on to the championship game while the Lady Red fall to the third place game on Saturday. We will have coverage of that ball game for you. We'll also have coverage of the Phillipsburg boys game and the Plainville boys game on Saturday. Back to action here. It is the 9th place boys game at at Stockton Grade School. And after one, the Stockton Tigers lead the Smith Center Redmen by 3, 17-14. Redmen basketball out of the quarter break as Benoit has it. Looks inside for Sass. Can't quite get it to him, so back to Hobelman it goes. Out front to Trenton Colby. Colby picks up his dribble to Benoit left wing. Benoit on the dribble. Inside for Sass. Sass one dribble. Shot up in the paint. Good. So Kyle Sass gets his first points of the ball game, and it makes it a 1-point game. 17-16, 7:27 left to go in the first half. As Hamel drives all the way inside, loses the handle on it. Oh, it looks like there's a foul called here on the Redmen. Their 5th team foul. And it's going to be on Reese Buckmaster, his first. 7:20 left to go in the first half. It is a 1-point Stockton Tiger lead, 17-16 over the Smith Center Redmen. The Tigers inbound it to Means. Means back around to Hamel, left wing. Hamel looks inside, now out to Booker between the circles. He works against Trenton Colby. Booker on the dribble now to Ben Rogers. Out front to Hamel. Hamel top of the key now to Means at the free throw line. Back inside for Hamel. Hamel drives in. Right block no good. Put back no good by Cognac. He kicks it back out to Booker. He's wide open for 3. No good this time off the back of the iron. Rebounded by Gage Cognac. Cognac looks to outlet. Does so to Means. Means on the dribble to the free throw line. Kicks out to Hamel left wing. 6:45 left to go in the first half. The Stockton Tigers lead the Smith Center Redmen by 1, 17-16. Ethan Means has it on the dribble. Kicks it out to Ben Rogers. Rogers now to Hamel. Back to Rogers in the left corner. Rogers lets the offense set up. Out front to Booker. He's working against Trenton Colby. Drives in. Jump stop off the glass. Too hard. No good. Tipped out by Cognac into the hands of Ben Rogers. Back inside for Booker. Booker pump fakes. Puts up the shot and good. Brady Booker's got 5. He's averaging 19 points a game. And the Stockton Tigers regain a 3-point lead, 19-16 with 6:10 left to go in the first half. Booker comes away with the steal. Fast break layup. Good. So Brady Booker with 4 quick points here in the second quarter. And the Stockton Tigers now lead at 21-16. 6 minutes left to go in the first half. Holman's left baseline shots up and good. for Smith Center. That makes it 21-18 with 5:50 left to go in the first half. Stockton Tigers lead the Smith Center Redmen here in the boys' 9th place game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Ethan Means has it, right wing. Lets the offense work. Now to Hamel. Hamel's floater's up in the paint. No good. Missed it to the right. Rebounded by Sass. Sass outlets ahead to Benoit. Benoit quickly ahead to Trenton Colby. Back to Benoit. Out front to Sass. Now to Buckmaster left wing. Buckmaster on the dribble. Kicks it out front to Trenton Colby. Around to Colby Benoit right wing. Benoit looks inside for Sass. They can't quite get it to him. Trenton Colby pump fakes. Drives in. Right elbow shot. Good. Trenton Colby's now got 13 of the 20, and the Stockton Tigers lead is 1 as Colby tips it in the hands of Benoit. Benoit drives in, pump fakes underneath for Trenton Colby, up and good. Trenton Colby with 15. That's a new career high for Trenton Colby, and he's got it here in the first half. He set that 14-point career high in the first game of the season against Plainville. He's got 15 of the 22, and the Redmen lead it 22-21 as Ethan Means drives in. He's going to be fouled. 6th-team foul on the Redmen. And it's going to be the first on Kyle Sass. It'll send Ethan Means to the free throw line. He's a 58% free throw shooter on the season. Is a 6'1 sophomore. Going to try to tie things up with the first one. It's on its way and rattles out. No good. Means has 5 points coming there in that first quarter. Cognac going to take a seat. Troy Rogers comes back in for Stockton. 4:54 left to go in the first half. The Stockton Tigers at the free throw line is Ethan Means. He's going to try to tie things up at 22. Does not. Misses that one. Rebounded by Hobelman. Austin outlets ahead to Colby Benoit. Benoit down to Trenton Colby in the right corner. Back to Benoit. Bounce pass for Hobelman. Top of the key. Around to Buckmaster left wing. Buckmaster looks in. Now on the dribble. Picks it up at the left wing. Back out front between the circles of Trenton Colby to Hobelman. Free throw line jumper. Off the back of the iron. No good. Ball gets tipped around. Still fighting for it. And going to have a jump ball call as Colby Benoit hit the court. And it will be Stockton basketball. 4:32 left to go in the first half. The Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers 22-21. Troy Rogers will inbound in front of his own bench over on the far side. Stockton goes left to right on your radio dial here in this first half. Booker has it around the Hamel right wing. Hamel looks inside, now out front to Means between the circles. Working against Buckmaster. He makes his move towards the basket. Shot is up, and he's going to get called for the charge as Hobelman picks up his second charge drawn in this first half. As Ethan Means picks up his first personal foul, 4th Stockton team foul. So Smith Center basketball after the charge. 4:15 left to go in the first half. The Redmen go right to left on your radio dial with a 1-point lead, 22-21 over the Stockton Tigers. Sass free throw line jumper. No good. Rebounded by Hobelman. He's in the left corner now to Benoit. Benoit left wing three's on its way. Left that one short. Rebounded by Trenton Colby, and he's going to be fouled. 5th team foul on the Stockton Tigers. And see who this one's on. It's going to be on Ben Rogers, his second. Going to have a timeout called here. With 4 minutes left to go in the first half, the Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers by 1, 22-21. We'll take a timeout with them as you're listening to MCL Tournament Basketball on KQMA and the World Wide Web. Four minutes left to go in the first half. The Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers 22-21 here in the 9th place boys game. Sass gets the inbounds pass. Ball gets kicked around, and it's still going to be Redmen basketball. Troy Rogers touched it last. So Buckmaster going to inbound. Again, 22-21. The Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers here in the 9th place boys game. Benoit has the top key, drives in, elevates from the right elbow. Good. Colby Benoit now has 5. And the Redmen take a 3-point lead with 3:45 left to go in the first half, 24-21 over the Stockton Tigers. Means skip past to Booker, down in the right corner now to Hamel. Skip past to Means. Spike line three's on its way, misses it to the right, rebounded by Trenton Colby. Colby pushes it up the court. Ball gets tipped by Ethan Means. Colby ahead to Sass, now to Benoit right wing. Benoit on the dribble. Back out to Colby, now to Benoit, now to Buckmaster, left wing, skip past Trenton Colby, right wing, three's on its way, good again! Trenton Colby hits another three, he's got 18, and that's his fourth made three-pointer in this ball game. It makes the Smith Center Redmond lead 27-21 with 3:08 left to go in the first half. Ethan Means drives in, floater in the paint, no good, rebounded by Sass. Sass hands it off to Trenton Colby. Colby brings it back right to left on your radio dial for the Redmond, ahead to Buckmaster, back to Colby. Trenton Colby out front to Benoit, inside for Sass. He pump fakes, splits the defense up, no good. Ball gets tipped around and it's rebounded by Ben Rogers. He hands it off to Bucher. Bucher left to right on your radio dial, across the timeline down to the right wing. Kicks it down to Hamel in the right corner, out to Ben Rogers, right wing. Rogers drives in, kicks it out to Hamel, right corner, three's on its way, no good. Fighting for the rebound and going to have a foul called here. This one's on the Stockton Tigers. Their 16th foul and the first on Troy Rogers as he and Sass both went up for that rebound. Looks like Griffin Kugler coming back into the ball game for the Redmond. Trenton Colby going to take a seat. 2:35 left to go in the first half. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers 27-21. Buckmaster inbounds to Benoit. Once again, the Redmond go right to left on your radio dial. Benoit looks at that 2-3 zone by the Tigers, passes it to the right wing to Buckmaster. Back out front to Benoit, back to Buckmaster, right wing. Buckmaster looks inside, now back to Benoit between the circles. He's swinging around the left wing to Kugler. Kugler back out front between the circles of Benoit. Fakes to left, goes to right to Buckmaster, right wing. Out front to Benoit, inside for Sass. He's going to split the defense and going to have the 17th foul called here on the Stockton Tigers. And it's going to be on Ben Rogers, his third, and it'll send Kyle Sass to the free throw line to shoot 1-1. 2:10 left to go in the first half. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers 27-21. Cognac comes back into the ball game. Ben Rogers going to take a seat with those three fouls. Sass at the line to shoot 1-1 for the Redmond. It's on its way and good on the first one. So Kyle Sass now has 3 points. Makes it 28-21. The Smith Center Redmond lead to the Stockton Tigers. As Sass misses the second one, fighting for the rebound. Cognac comes down with it. Outlets ahead to Bucher. Bucher quickly ahead to Troy Rogers. Tipped and stolen away by Hobelman. Hobelman hands it off to Benoit. Benoit up the right sideline. Now back into the center of the court to Kugler left corner. He's going to drive in. Splits the defense up and good. What a great move by Griffin Kugler. Got the Euro step on the left baseline. Got enough room and got the basket that makes it Smith Center Redmond 9-point lead, 30-21 with a minute 45 left to go in the first half. Bucher has it, working against Griffin Kugler. Kicks it to Hamel in the right corner. He looks inside for Bucher as he posts Kugler up. Back out front to Means. Means on the dribble, hands it off to Bucher left wing. He'll put up the deep three. No good this time. Ball gets tipped in the hands of Griffin Kugler. Kugler slows things up, lets everybody catch up with just under a minute and a half left to go in the first half. And Benoit pump fake's going to get called for the travel. Feet move just a little bit quicker than the ball could that time. And it will be Stockton basketball. A minute 23 left to go in the first half. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers 30-21 here in the ninth place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament in a Stockton grade school. Heston Maxwell comes back into the ball game for the Redmond, a 6'1 senior, while Kyle Sass will take a seat. Brady Bucher brings it up the court for the Stockton Tigers. Between the circles, picked up there by Kugler. Pump fakes, kicks it over to Hamel, left wing. Hamel on the dribble. Things getting congested over on the left wing for the Tigers. They pass it back out to Means. Means puts up the left wing three now. He's got it. Means hits the three, and he's got 8. That's his second three-pointer in the ball game. And with a minute left to go in the first half, the Smith Center Redmond lead by 6, 30-24. Kugler has it left wing for Smith Center. Out front to Buckmaster. And going to have a foul called here on the Redmond. This will be their 17th foul, and the first on Heston Maxwell. 51 seconds left to go in the first half. The Smith Center Redmond have a 6-point lead over the Stockton Tigers here in the ninth place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. That score 30-24. Spooker brings it up the court, top of the key, crosses over down to the left baseline to Cognac. Now to Hamel, back inside for Bucher, working against Kugler. Pump fake, splits the defense right, block off the glass, and good. Brady Bucher now with 9, and the lead is cut down. It's now 30-24, 30 seconds left to go. As Benoit kicks it to Kugler. Now they change it. It's 30-26. 4 points to Smith Center Redmond lead as Benoit's pass just too high for Buckmaster that time. And it will be. Stockton basketball. 20 seconds left to go in the first half. Again, a 4-point Smith Center lead over Stockton here in the 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. 30-26. Smith Center leads Stockton as they get the ball inside for Hamel. Right block, turnaround shot, kisses it off the glass and good. Cameron Hamel has 4. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Buckmaster pushes it quickly up the court, elevates at the right wing, and no good. And that's how the Welcome back. Here at halftime, the Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers 30-28. The Tigers led by 3 after the first quarter, 17-14, but the Redmen outscored the Tigers in that second quarter, 16-11 to make it 30-28 here at halftime. Looking at the scoring, first for the Tigers, they are led by Brady Bucher with 9 points, 8 points for Ethan Means, 4 for Cameron Hamel, 5 for Troy Rogers, and 2 for Ben Rogers. For the Redmen, it's 5 points for Colby Benoit, 3 for Kyle Sass, 2 for Griffin Kugler, 2 for Austin Hobelman, and already a new career high for Trenton Colby. He's got 18 points in the first half. His old career high came in the first game of the season against Plainville when he scored 14. So a new career high in one half for Trenton Colby, as he has hit 4 3-pointers in the first half. Again, giving him 18 points and a new career high with a whole nother half yet to go here in Stockton. The 9th place boys game. Again, at halftime, the Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers 30-28. We'll take a timeout here. We'll be back to take a look at the rest of the tournament and the Northern Plains League tournament as well right after this, as you're listening to MCL basketball tournament coverage on KQMA and the World Wide Web. And welcome back at halftime of the 9th place boys game. The Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers 30 to 28. These two teams got here as it was Smith Center losing to TMP 65 to 59 in the playing game on Saturday, while Stockton lost to Norton 44 to 34. So they will be done with their tournament after this game. The other 9th place game going on, the girls' side of things, they are in the high school gym where Stockton takes on Hill City. The other games going on today here in Stockton, the consolation semifinals on the girls' side. Ellis plays Plainville in the high school gym. We will have coverage of Phillipsburg against Oakley here in the grade school gym following this matchup. On the boys' side, the consolation semifinals sees Norton taking on Trigo, while Ellis takes on Oakley. On the championship semifinals down in Trigo today, from what we've heard, Trigo defeated Smith Center 44 to 39. So the Lady Red fall to the 3rd place game, while Trigo will be in the championship game. The other girls' championship semifinal sees Norton taking on TMP, and then the boys' game, Phillipsburg taking on Plainville. That game going on right now, and TMP taking on Hill City. The championship game in the MCL bracket looks like on the girls' side, Thunder Ridge takes on Osborne, while on the boys' side, Osborne takes on St. John's Beloit Tipton. That's a look at our tournaments in the area. We'll take our final 2 minutes here. When we come back, we'll take a look into the second half, as again at halftime, the Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers 30 to 28. You're listening to MCL basketball tournament coverage on KQMA and the World Wide Web. And welcome back here. At halftime, the Smith Center means for the Redmen, Trenton Colby Benoit, Kyle Sass, Reese Buckmaster, and Austin Hobelman. It will be Redmen basketball to start the second half. They go left to right on your radio dial here in the third quarter. Trenton Colby will inbound the basketball for the Redmen. Does so to Colby Benoit. And Benoit going to set up the offense here to start the third quarter. Swings it over to Reese Buckmaster, left wing, skip pass to Colby, right wing. He's going to put up the three. No good this time. Hit the iron and bounced up and out. And it's rebounded by Brady Bucher. Bucher brings it back right to left ahead to Troy Rogers. Rogers puts up the right corner three. No good off the back of the iron. Rebounded by Hamel. Hamel drives in, puts it up. Blocked by Sass. Nope, they're going to say a foul's called. First team foul on the Redmen here in the second half. And it's going to be on Kyle Sass, his second. So, looks like Cameron Hamel heads to the free throw line. He's a 58% free throw shooter on the season. First one's on its way, good. He now has 5 points. Makes it 30 to 29 with 7:37 left to go in the third quarter. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers by 1. Second one's on its way. No good. Rebound. Fought for. Holbleman comes away with it. Hands it off to Trenton Colby. Colby brings it up the court. 7.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. The Smith Center Redmond lead by 1, 30-29 over the Stockton Tigers here in the 9th place boys game in the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Smith Center basketball. Holbleman has the left corner. Inside for Sass. Shot is up off the glass. Rolls out. No good. Rebounded by Cognac. He hands it off to Bucher. Brady Bucher brings it back up the right sideline for the Stockton Tigers. Right to left on your radio dial. Ahead to Rogers. Right corner. Back out to Means. Means dribbles back out between the circles. 2-3 zone by the Redmond now as Rogers has it right corner. Now to Means. Back to Bucher left wing. Back out front between the circles to Means. Inside for Hamel. Hamel puts the ball on the court and he's going to get called for a travel. So the ball goes back in the hands of the Smith Center Redmond with 6:53 left to go in the third quarter. Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers 30-29 here in the 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Benoit brings it up the court left to right. On your radio dial across the timeline, ahead to Trenton Colby right wing, pump fakes. Now on the dribble out front to Buckmaster. He's swinging around to Benoit left wing. Benoit one dribble back out front between the circles to Trenton Colby. Back to Benoit left wing. Benoit inside for Sass. Sass kicks out to Holbleman left corner. Now to Benoit. Benoit drives inside. Shot is up in the paint, high off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Holbleman. Holbleman kicks out Trenton Colby right wing three. No good. As that one hit the rim and bounced up, hit the basket supports, and it will be Stockton basketball. 6:24 left to go in the third quarter. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers 30-29. 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Brady Bucher up the court ahead to Cameron Hamel right corner. He's working against Buckmaster down there in the corner. Now back out front to Means. Means between the circles on the dribble, guarded by Kyle Sass with 6:10 left to go in the third quarter. Means makes his move. Now kicks it back out to Hamel around to Bucher, guarded there by Trenton Colby. Means has it inside. Floaters up, no good. Rebounded by Holbleman. It may have partially been blocked there by Kyle Sass. Benoit quickly ahead to Colby, right corner. Inside for Sass, pump fake, shot up and good. Kyle Sass has 5, and the Smith Center Redmond now lead 32-29. 5:45 left to go in the third quarter. Bucher has it right wing. He's going to drive inside. Kicks it out to Troy Rogers, left corner. Three's on its way, no good. Rebounded by Trenton Colby. Colby ahead to Benoit. Benoit on the fast break. Layup over Means is no good, but he's fouled. First team foul on the Stockton Tigers and the second on Ethan Means. 5:34 left to go in the third quarter. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers 32-29 here in the 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Colby Benoit heads to the free throw line. First one's on its way. No good. So Benoit will get set for his second one. Just a 36% free throw shooter on the season is Colby Benoit. He's 9 of now 26. Benoit getting set for his second one. It's on its way. No good as well. Rebounded by Trenton Colby. Colby left block off the glass and good. There's 20 points for Trenton Colby. And the Smith Center Redmond now lead at 34-29. 5:20 left to go in the third quarter. Hamel has it around to the left wing to Means. Means looks in. Gets a screen out front from Troy Rogers behind the back. Now to Hamel. Hamel. Troy Rogers left wing down to Cognac on the left baseline. Back to Rogers left wing. He works against Buckmaster. Fakes to right. Goes left. Floater's no good from the baseline. Fighting for the rebound. And Buckmaster comes away with the loose basketball. Buckmaster leads the break ahead to Trenton Colby. Down to Benoit in the right corner. Benoit fakes left. Goes right. Finds Sass. Cutting towards the basket. And it's good. Nice look there by Colby Benoit as he cut towards the basket. He saw Kyle Sass had a wide open lane, found him cutting down the paint, and Sass gets the layup and the 2 points. 36-29, Smith Center leads. Three-pointer by Ethan Means is good from the right wing, and Means now has 11. That cuts into the Redmond lead, 36-32, 4.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Trenton Colby has it right wing, pump fake as he went up for the three. Saw Holbleman open up on the baseline. Holbleman lost it out of bounds, and it will be Stockton basketball as Buckmaster takes a seat. Griffin Kugler comes back into the game for the Redmond. Ben Rogers comes in for the Stockton Tigers, and Gage Cognac going to take a seat. 36-32, the Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers. 4:20 left to go in the third quarter here in the 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. As Ben Rogers has it to Troy Rogers to Hamel on the left baseline, working against Kyle Sass at the block. Blocked by Sass, and now we're going to have a late whistle call here. And it's going to be on the Redmond. Second team foul. And see who they called this one on. I believe they called it on Griffin Kugler. And it is on Kugler, his second. So Sass had the block, but Kugler got him with the body. And Hamel heads to the free throw line, hits the first one. He now has 6. Makes it 36-33. 4:10 left to go in the third quarter. Cameron Hamel getting set for the second one. Good as well. Cameron Hamel now with 7. And the Smith Center Redmond lead it 36-34. Benoit has it. Now to Sass. Loses the handle on it. Ball's up for grabs. Booker comes down with it for Stockton. Booker on the fast break. Right block. Layup. Good. There is double digits for Booker. He's now got 11, and it's tied at 36 all here between Smith Center and Stockton. Sass has it. Right block. Turnaround shot's good. Sass has 9, and it puts the Redmond back up by 2, 38-36. 3:45 left to go in the third quarter of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament, 9th place boys game. Booker has it out front, now to Hamel. Hamel on the drive, kicks out. Ben Rogers, right corner 3, bingo! Ben Rogers now has 5, and the Stockton Tigers take a lead by 1, 39-38 with 3:25 left to go in the third quarter. Kugler has it to Benoit. Benoit sees an opening, drives in, underneath for Sass. Right block up and good. Counted. He's going line for an and one. Sass now has 11, and that's the second team foul on the Stockton Tigers. Foul's going to be on Troy Rogers. As Sass getting set for his and one attempt. That was on Troy Rogers, his second. Sass with a chance to make this a 2-point game as looks like Joel Montgomery comes in the ball game. Trenton Colby taking a seat. Sass's free throw, no good. Rebounded by Booker. They pass it ahead to Troy Rogers. He kicks it out to Means, left wing. 3 over Kugler. No good. Left it short. Rebound fought for. Montgomery comes down with it. Fighting for the ball. And let's see, looks like this one's going to be on the Redmond. Foul's on Griffin Kugler, his third personal foul, third Redmond team foul. So, going to be Stockton basketball, 3:07 left to go in the third quarter. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers by 1, 40-39. Ben Rogers has it. Waits for the rest of his team to catch up. Picks up his dribble in the right corner, now to Booker. Booker, 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Passes it back to Ben Rogers in the right corner. Inside for Hamel. Hamel, right block, up and counted. He's going line for an and one. Hamel's got 9, and that's the 4th team foul on the Redmond. Foul's on Kyle Sass, his third personal foul. First one's on its way, or the and one's on its way, I should say. And it is good. So there is yet another Stockton Tiger in double digits as Cameron Hamel now with 10. He joins Ethan Means, who has 11, and Brady Booker, who has 11. 2:45 left to go in the third quarter. The Stockton Tigers now lead by 2, 42-40. As Montgomery looked inside for Sass, stolen away by Hamel. Hamel all the way down, drives in, shot is up, and no good in the paint. Rebounded by Montgomery, hands it out to Benoit. Benoit quickly up the right sideline. Drives all the way down to the right baseline, picks up the dribble, inside for Sass, right block, no good. Fighting for the rebound, and see who they call this foul on. Seston Maxwell getting set to come back into the game. It's on Troy Rogers, his third, and the third Tigers team foul. Sass takes a seat. Maxwell comes back into the ball game. 2:26 left to play in the third quarter. The Stockton Tigers lead the Smith Center Redmond 42-40. Gage Cognac going to come back in. Troy Rogers going to take a seat with those 3 fouls. Griffin Kugler inbound the basketball for the Redmond. Gets it into Benoit. Left corner 3's on its way. Good. Colby Benoit now has 8. And the Smith Center Redmond take a 1-point lead, 43-42, 2:15 left to play in the third quarter. Booker drives in, tipped by Hobelman as they were looking for Cognac at the left block. It's down to the hands of Benoit, ahead to Kugler, right wing. Kugler drives in, splits the defense, floaters up, rattles out, no good. And Hobelman going to get called for over the back, his second personal foul, 5th Redmond team foul. 2:04 left to play in the third quarter. The Smith Center Redmond have a 1-point lead over the Stockton Tigers here in the 9th place boys game in the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. 43-42. Again, Smith Center leads Stockton. Booker brings it right to left on your radio dial. Ahead to Hamel, right wing. Back out to Booker. Booker between the legs dribble. Pump fakes. Kicks it to Hamel. Back inside for Booker at the right block. Kicks out to Means. Left wing 3's on its way. Left that one to the left. No good. Means tracks it down. Nope, they're going to say he was stepping out of bounds when he touched it. So it will be a Redmond basketball as we have an official's timeout as Cameron Hamel tying his shoe real quick. And it will be Smith Center basketball. The minute 48 left to go in the third quarter. Reese Buckmaster comes back in, and Austin Hobelman going to take his seat. Smith Center with a 1-point lead here in the third quarter. 43-42, a minute 45 and counting left to play in the third quarter of the 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. It is Montgomery with it for Smith Center, left wing. He looks inside, takes one dribble, kicks it across the court to Benoit, right wing. He'll spot up for three, and no good. Left that one just short. It's rebounded in the corner by Ben Rogers. He hands it out to Bucher. Bucher brings it across the timeline with a minute 25 left to go. Looks underneath for Cognac, kicks it out to Hamel, left wing three, good! Cameron Hamel now with 13, and it puts the Tigers up by 2, 45-43. Minute 12 left to go in the third quarter. Kugler has it inside for Buckmaster. Buckmaster looks to kick the pass out, does so to Benoit. Top of the key, three's on its way for Benoit. Good! Colby Benoit hits another one. He's got 11, and that's his third three-pointer, and the second one here in the third quarter puts the Redmen back up by 1, 46-45, 55 seconds left to go in the third quarter of this boys' 9th place game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Booker spots up for three, no good. Rebounded by Means for Stockton. Ethan Means going to reset things with 45 seconds left to go. Between the legs dribble now to Ben Rogers, left side, out front to Booker between the circles. 38 seconds and counting left to go here in the third quarter. Booker makes his drive, looks underneath for Cognac, gets tipped in the hands of Means, right corner, now to Hamel, right wing. 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Smith Center leads Stockton by 1, 46-45 here in the third quarter. Means has it right wing. Working against Griffin Kugler, now to Booker, who works against Joel Montgomery, back to Hamel. Hamel now out front to Ben Rogers, top of the key with it. Kicks it around to Means, the left wing. Means looks inside, now back out to Booker. Joel Montgomery guards Booker. Booker at the top of the key, picks it up, shot over Montgomery, no good, rebounded by Kugler. Kugler going to get called for the double dribble with 1 second left to go in this third quarter, and the Stockton Tigers have a chance here at the final shot. 46-45, Smith Center leads Stockton with 1 second left to go in the third quarter. Ben Rogers will inbound the basketball. Rogers looking. Ball gets tipped out by Montgomery, and that's how the third quarter ends, with the Smith Center Redmen leading 46-45. We'll take a timeout here, and we'll be back with the fourth quarter of action right after this, as you're listening to MCL basketball tournament coverage on KQMA and the World Wide Web. Welcome back to Stockton Grade School, the 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Jesse Ray with you, and bringing you all the action as the Smith Center Redmen, after three quarters, lead the Stockton Tigers by 1, 46-45. It will be Stockton basketball out of the break, and Booker, Cognac, Hamel, Means, and Ben Rogers back onto the court for the Tigers. For the Redmen, it's Trenton Colby, Colby Benoit, Kyle Sass, Reese Buckmaster, and Austin Hobelman. As they inbound ahead to Means. Means brings it up the court for the Tigers. He's at the right wing with it. Working against Buckmaster between the circles now to Hamel. Hamel works against Sass down to Ben Rogers' left corner. Rogers looks inside, now skip past to Means, top of the key. Means works against Buckmaster behind the back dribble in the paint. Shot is up off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Buckmaster. Reese looks to outlet now. He lets everybody clear out, and he'll bring it up the court. Left to right on your radio dial for the Redmen. Ahead to Sass, around to Trenton Colby, left wing. Colby looks inside. Now he's on the dribble between the circles around to Benoit, back to Trenton Colby. He'll spot up for three. Left that one short. No good. Rebounded by Booker. Booker brings it back up the court, right to left on your radio dial for the Stockton Tigers between the circles. He'll spot up. Spike line three. No good. And rebound tracked down by Colby Benoit. He walks the tightrope up the right sideline. He's going to drive all the way in. Euro step around Booker. No good. But it's rebounded by Kyle Sass. Put back is 13 points for Kyle Sass after that putback, and it puts the Redmen up by 3, 48-45, 6:55 left to go into this ball game. Ninth place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Booker gets the ball inside at the left block, kicks it out to Hamel, 3 on its way, rattles out, no good, rebounded by Sass. Sass looks to outlet, does so to Colby Benoit. Benoit brings it up the court for the Redmen. Now out front to Sass around to Trenton Colby left wing. Trenton Colby picked up there by Ethan Means. Skip pass tipped by Ben Rogers into the hands of Colby Benoit. Benoit on the dribble, picks it up, bounce pass to Buckmaster. Buckmaster going to get called for the travel. 6:26 left to go in the ball game. The Smith Center Redmen lead by 3, 48-45 over the Stockton Tigers. As Troy Rogers comes back in, and Ethan Means going to take a break. 48-45, the Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers here in the ninth place boys game of the MCL basketball tournament. Troy Rogers quickly up the court. He's going to drive in, looks underneath for Cognac, and going to have a charge called here on Troy Rogers. That's the third charge drawn by Austin Hobelman in this game. He drew 2 of them in the play-in game on TMP on Saturday. He's got 3 charges drawn in this game. So Hobelman getting those feet planted when he sees somebody coming towards the basket, and that one's on Troy Rogers, his 4th. Kugler comes back into the ball game for the Redmen. Colby Benoit takes his seat. Redmen basketball as Kugler has it now to Trenton Colby between the circles, around to Buckmaster, down to Kugler on the left baseline. He tries to save it in, could not quite track it down, goes out of bounds, and it will be Tiger basketball. 6:07 left to go in this ball game, and the Smith Center Redmen lead by 3 over the Stockton Tigers, 48-45. Full court pressure by the Redmen as they inbound to Troy Rogers. Rogers quickly up the court, right to left on your radio dial, across the timeline, ahead to Hamel between the circles. He drives in, loses the handle on it, gets called for a travel as he was trying to kick it out to Ben Rogers. So it will be Smith Center basketball with just under 6 minutes left to play in this ninth place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. The Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers 48-45. Kugler ahead to Buckmaster, back to Kugler. They swing around Trenton Colby left wing. Colby looks inside for Sass, can't quite get it to him, so swings around to Kugler. Kugler drives in. Scoop shot, no good. Tipped into the hands of Buckmaster. Now to Trenton Colby. He pump fakes. Colby, free throw line jumper, no good. And fighting for the rebound. Ben Rogers comes down with it for the Stockton Tigers. 5.5 minutes left to play in this ninth place boys game. And the Smith Center Redmen lead by 3. Cognac has it, left block up and good. So Gage Cognac gets his first points of the ball game. And it makes it 48-47. Smith Center with a 1-point lead. We'll take a timeout. As a timeout on the court, you're listening to MCL tournament coverage on KQMA and the World Wide Web. .524 left to go in the ninth place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. The Smith Center Redmen lead the Stockton Tigers by 1, 48-47. As we get set to get back to action here out of the timeout, it's Reese Buckmaster, Griffin Kugler, Trenton Colby, Austin Hobelman, and Kyle Sass for the Redmen. Looks like Gage Cognac along with Cameron Hamel. Also out there, Ben Rogers, Troy Rogers, and Brady Booker for the Stockton Tigers. It will be Redmen basketball out of the timeout. They go left to right on your radio dial. Again, 5:20 and counting left to go in the ball game. And the Smith Center Redmen lead by 1, 48-47. Colby has it around to Buckmaster left wing. Picks up his dribble, looks in, now back out to Colby. Trenton, bounce pass back to Buckmaster left wing. One dribble, picks it up, now to Sass. Sass swings around to Trenton Colby, right wing. He pump fakes, drives in, leaves it off for Kugler. Kugler baseline shot, counted, he's going line for an and one. Kugler now has 4, and that's the 5th team foul on the Stockton Tigers. It's going to be on Cameron Hamel, his 2nd. Kugler heads to the free throw line for his and one attempt. He's 0 of 1 from the free throw line in this ball game. Trying to make it a 4-point game and cannot with that one. Rebounded by Booker. He passes the head to Troy Rogers. Right wing three's on its way. Left that one short. Rebound goes through the legs of Kyle Sass into the hands of Booker underneath for Cognac. Now back out to Troy Rogers. And a 3-second violation on the Tigers. And it will be Smith Center basketball. 4:49 left to go in this ball game. And the Smith Center Redmond lead by 3, 50-47. Colby Benoit comes back in. Reese Buckmaster going to take a seat for Smith Center. Benoit brings it left to right on your radio dial across the timeline for Smith Center. Between the circles, calls out the offense to Trenton Colby left side. Colby down to the baseline to Kugler. Kugler drives the paint, and he's going to be fouled. So he drove that left baseline. Gets fouled down there. And it will be Smith Center basketball. So this one's going to be on Gage Cognac, his first. So Kugler heads back to the free throw line. Looks like Ethan Means heads to the scorer's table for Stockton. Kugler's first one's on its way. No good off the back of the iron. So Kugler now 0 of 3 from the free throw line in this game. Cognac takes a seat as Means comes back in. 4:37 left to play in the fourth quarter. The Smith Center Redmond lead by 3, 50-47 over the Stockton Tigers as Kugler misses that one. Ball gets tipped right into Kugler's hands at the right wing. Kugler back out front to Trenton Colby. Swings it around to Colby Benoit, left wing. Benoit looks in, now down to the left corner to Hobelman. Back out front to Benoit. Benoit going to set things up with 4:20 left to go in the ball game. And the Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers 50-47. Benoit has it inside for Sass. Sass makes his move, and he's headed to the free throw line as Troy Rogers gets called for his 5th and final foul. That's the 7th Stockton team foul, and Rogers fouls out with 5 points. So Sass heads to the free throw line. So now we have a technical here on the Tigers as well. So that'll be their 8th team foul. And Cognac comes into the ball game. So Rogers must have said something that the refs didn't like. They tee him up on his way out. And it will be Smith Center at the free throw line. First, Kyle Sass will shoot his 2 free throws for the original foul. Trying to make this a 4-point game with the first one. Cannot off the back of the iron. No good. So Sass will get set for his second one now. Again, going to try to hit that. Get him up by 4. It's up and good. So Sass hits the second one. He now has 14. And Trenton Colby going to head to the free throw line to try to extend the lead. These are the technical free throws that the Redmond are getting after the technical was called on Stockton. It's up and rattles out on the first one. So Trenton Colby will get set for his second free throw now. 4:11 left to go in this ball game. The Smith Center Redmond lead it 51-47 as Trenton Colby misses the second one. Before that, he'd only missed 2 on the season. He was 9 of 11 coming into the ball game. Now 9 of 13 after those 2 misses. So 4:11 left to go in the ball game. The Smith Center Redmond lead by 4, 51-47 over the Stockton Tigers. 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Trenton Colby inbounds to Colby Benoit. Benoit back to Trenton Colby, right wing, pump fakes, back out to Benoit between the circles. 2-3 zone by the Stockton Tigers as they find Hobelman in the left corner. Now to Benoit. Benoit inside for Sass, and Sass going to get called for the travel. Didn't quite get that ball down quick enough. Gets called for the travel, and it will be Stockton basketball. 3:58 left to go in the ball game. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers 51-47. Ethan Means brings it up the left sideline. Working against Griffin Kugler, going to drive in, loses the handle on it, right in the hands of Ben Rogers. Rogers loses the handle on it, ball gets tipped around, and Hamel comes away with the loose basketball. Now to Means, right wing. Skip pass to Rogers, left wing, back to Means. He's between the circles now with 3:39 and counting. Left to go in the game, and the Smith Center Redmond lead by 4, 51-47. Kruger makes his move, elevates from the left elbow, no good. Rebound, fought for, and Cognac comes down with it on the right baseline. Kicks it out to Hamel, now to Means. Inside for Bucher. Bucher works against Hobelman, shot no good, rebounded by Sass. He lets everybody clear out and hands it off to Benoit. Benoit brings it back left to right on your radio dial for the Redmond with 3:15 left to go in the fourth quarter. Benoit around to Trenton Colby, left wing. Colby, one dribble back to Benoit. Benoit down to the right wing, drives in, and he's going to be fouled. This will be on Ben Rogers, his 4th, and the 9th Stockton team foul. 3:07 left to play in this ball game, the 9th place boys game of this MCL basketball tournament. Smith Center leads Stockton 51-47. Joel Montgomery comes back in. Trenton Colby going to take a seat. Colby Benoit at the free throw line to shoot 1-1. First in the 1-1's on its way. That one rattles home. He's now got 12 points, and it makes it 52-47 with 3:07 left to play. Ninth place boys game of the MCL basketball tournament here in Stockton Grade School. Benoit's second one, good as well. Benoit's got 13, and the Smith Center Redmond lead at 53-47. We'll take a timeout. You're listening to MCL basketball tournament coverage on KQMA and the World Wide Web. .307 left to play in the ninth place boys game in the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Last updates we had, we knew that Stockton's girls were up by 1 with just a few minutes left to play in the ninth place girls game going on in the high school right now. And at halftime, Phillipsburg's boys lead Plainville's boys in the championship semifinal going on in Trio right now. Again, we are here in Stockton at the grade school where Smith Center leads Stockton 53-47 in the ninth place boys game with 2:45 left to go. It is Stockton basketball as Bucher has it. Dribbles up to the left wing, makes his move, finds Cognac, and he's going to head to the free throw line. This will be the 6th team foul on the Redmen. This is only their first foul of the fourth quarter. Fouls on Colby Benoit, his second. So Gage Cognac, 4-6 from the free throw line on the season. Heads in the line to shoot the first one. It's on its way. That one off the back of the iron, no good. It's Cognac getting set for the second one with 2:39 left to go in the fourth quarter. The Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers 53-47 here in the ninth place boys game of the MCL basketball tournament as Cognac misses the second one. Hobelman and Bucher both going up for that rebound, and Bucher going to get called for over the back. His second personal foul, 10th Tigers team foul. Austin Hobelman makes the long walk down to the other end while here gets set to shoot 2 free throws here for the Redmen. Try to extend their lead as they lead 53-47 with 2:38 left to go in this ninth place boys game. First one's on its way for Austin, no good. So he'll get set for the second free throw. Buck looks like Hobelman's second one's on its way now, good. So Hobelman now has 3 points, and the Smith Center Redmond lead at 54-47 with 2:35 left to go in this ninth place boys game of the MCL basketball tournament. It is Means with a left wing. Stockton behind the back dribble between the circles. Now over to Hamel. Hamel has it at the right wing, working against Buckmaster. Drives in, picks up his dribble out front now to Bucher. Bucher spike line 3, no good. Left it short, rebounded by Buckmaster. Tipped out by Hamel in the hands of Ben Rogers. Right block up and good. Ben Rogers now has 7, and the Stockton Tigers cut in the lead. It's 54-49 with 2:05 left to go in this game, and Montgomery going to get called for the travel. So the ball goes back into the hands of the Smith Center Redmond, or of the Stockton Tigers. And Trenton Colby comes back in. See who's going to take a seat. Looks like Reese Buckmaster going to take a seat. 2:03 left to play. This is the ninth place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Here in Stockton Grade School, the Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers 54-49. Bucher makes his move towards the basket, finds Cognac left block, out to Hamel in the left corner. He drives in, picks up his dribble, looks to pass out, does so to Bucher. Bucher between the circles, drives inside, right block up and good. Bucher's now got 13, and it makes it a 3-point game, 54-51, as they pass ahead to Hobelman. Hobelman pump fakes at the left block, kicks it out to Trenton Colby. Colby, right block up, no good, left it short, rebound. Fought for, and the 17th foul on the Redmen just called, and the second on Trenton Colby. So, Cameron Hamel heads to the free throw line to shoot 1-1. Minute 32 left to play in this game. Reese Buckmaster and Kyle Sass both come back in. Griffin Kugler and Joel Montgomery both take a seat. The Smith Center Redmen right now lead by 3, 54-51. First end of the 1-1 for Hamel's good. He's now got 14. He leads all scores for the Stockton Tigers. He'll get set for the second one. try to make this a 1-point lead for Smith Center. It's on its way, good as well. So Hamel hits them both. He's got 15. And it's now a 1-point Smith Center lead, 54-53. Benoit drives all the way down to the right wing. Picks up his dribble now to Hobelman, hands it back off to Benoit. Minute 23 left to go in this ball game. The Smith Center Redmond lead at 54-53. Benoit back to Buckmaster. Buckmaster back to Benoit. Benoit takes one dribble now back to Buckmaster with minute 10 and counting left to play. Hobelman swings it back out to Benoit. Benoit kicks it back out to Buckmaster. Buckmaster on the dribble. Gets a tip by Means behind the hands of Trenton Colby. Colby back to Buckmaster. Buckmaster back to Benoit right wing. Inside for Hobelman. Tipped out and stolen away. And then a foul's going to be called. 8th team foul on the Redmen. And the Tigers will head down to the other end to shoot 1-1. Fouls on Austin Hobelman, his third. And Gage Cognac heads to the free throw line. Again, coming in the ball game, a 67% free throw shooter. He has missed his only 2 opportunities here in the fourth quarter. First end of the 1-on-1's on its way. Left it short, rebounded by Ben Rogers. Rogers puts up the shot off the glass. No good. Rebounded by Kyle Sass. Sass outlets to Trenton Colby. Colby hands it off to Buckmaster. Buckmaster with 45 seconds left. Brings it across the timeline, and Coach Buckmaster wants a timeout. So with 43 seconds left to go in the ball game, the Smith Center Redmond lead the Stockton Tigers by 1, 54-53. We'll take a timeout with them. You're listening to MCL basketball tournament coverage on KQMA and the World Wide Web. And welcome back to Stockton Grade School. Jesse Ray with you. The 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament going on. And we have 43 seconds left to play. The Smith Center Redmond lead at 54-53. We do know in the other gym, Stockton's girls lead 38-36 with a minute 39 left to go over Hill City. We also know that Phillipsburg's boys lead big after 3 in Trigo. The Redmen find Kyle Sass, blocked by Means in the hands of Booker. The Stockton Tigers have a chance here to take the lead. They trail by 1, 54-53. Hamel drives inside, loses the handle on it. Hobelman saves it into the hands of Benoit. Benoit has it. He's running away from trouble. Picks up his dribble, now passes it ahead. Trenton Colby going to have a foul called here as Benoit didn't quite get enough on that pass. And it will be Stockton heading to the free throw line as it's Ben Rogers. And the foul is going to be on Trenton Colby, his third. As that pass by Colby Benoit just did not quite have enough on it to get to Trenton Colby. He went up to get it, and Ben Rogers slipped in right underneath. Gets fouled and heads to the free throw line to shoot 1-1. He's a 67% free throw shooter on the season with a chance to tie it. First one's on its way. He left it short. It's rebounded by Hobelman. Hobelman going to get fouled by Cameron Hamel. Hamel's third. And it will send Austin Hobelman to the free throw line to shoot 2 with 11 seconds left to go in this game. The Smith Center Redmond lead it by 1, 54-53. Hobelman at the free throw line. He just went 1 of 2 the last time he was there. First one's on its way. Left that one short. So it remains a 1-point ball game, 54-53. 11 seconds left to play in the 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. And the Smith Center Redmen again lead by 1, 54-53. Austin Hobelman at the free throw line for his second free throw. It's on its way. That one good. Hobelman now has 4, and the Tigers have it. 10 seconds left. They trail by 2, 55-53. Booker has it. And again, have a timeout called here by Stockton. With 5 seconds left to go in the ball game, the Stockton Tigers want to talk things over, draw up the perfect play. They trail by 2, 55-53 here against the Smith Center Redmond 9th place boys game of the Mid-Continent League basketball tournament. Once these two teams are done tonight, their tournament is complete. And then we'll head to Trigo on Saturday for the championship games. The third place girls game where the Smith Center Lady Red will take on either Norton or TMP. And then the boys at third place and the boys championship. Again, last we heard, Stockton's girls were up with 1:39 left to go in that game over there. The ninth place girls game 38-36. And Phillipsburg's boys were up on Plainville big after the third quarter of that game down in Trigo. That's a championship semifinal game. Back out on the court we go. 5 seconds left to play in the ninth place boys game. For the Redmen, it is Colby, Kugler, Montgomery, Buckmaster, and Benoit for the Tigers. Rogers gets it into Hamel, right wing. Inside for Bucher. Pass gets into the hands of Trenton Colby. Colby picks it up, and the Redmen win it 55-53. Their third win of the season, and they win it over Stockton 55-53 as the Tigers